fold it up, jump. And since we moved in 10 years ago, our washer and dryer were new. And I think we've already replaced the washer once. But that wasn't so much the hard water as the washer was having. We should probably have read the reviews on the washer, and then we probably wouldn't have bought it. It had issues before we started. But the well pressure tank rusted out and flooded the basement, which obviously is not a good thing. And I'm sure we probably could use a new water softener. If that thing's bouncing around chronic. Did I? Yeah, I did lift it off the ground. But that'll be another expense later. We've had a lot of emergency repairs since we moved in. The air conditioner was replaced this year. The heater failed. That was a problem. I cultivated that. No. Keyboard, thank you. Okay. So that's cultivated. Oh yeah, that is cultivated. That's cultivated. This isn't. So I need to do 13 and 10. Get a landscaping tool across there so it splits those two fields up. Then we need to do 9. Okay, so we're done here. I may just set this to cultivate the entirety of this field again. Set this on the worker too for now. But yeah, we've had a new water heater. No, not a water heater. We had a new where do you want to go? There we go. We had new central heating. Dude! Seriously? I'll know why he did that, because that's where the field breaks. But seriously? That is just not playing cricket. But we changed from propane to natural gas this year. So at that point we had to convert the dryer back to natural gas from propane. And fortunately we'd kept all the bits from when we bought the dryer. We had to buy the dryer and the propane conversion kit, but the guy who fitted it for us gave us all the bits, and we put them in the box and just put it to one side. So when we switched to gas, there was all the, oh, we're going to have to, oh, would this help? So, yes, that would be brilliant. So saved a little bit of money and hassle there by having all the bits still on hand. But had to get a new stove because the stove we had was in dire need of being junked. And the new stove, the ignition circuit on half the burners is gone. So we can get them started, but we have to use flame rather than the electric ignition. So I'm not too impressed with that. Had a new AC last year, and we upped it by I can't remember what size we had. I think we had a 3 ton, we upped it to 3.5 ton. Because the unit as installed was installed for the house. And we have a completely fitted basement, which obviously wasn't factored into the original AC install. So during the height of summer it gets very hot in some of the rooms upstairs because the air conditioning just couldn't keep up with the amount of air it had to move, or at least the amount of heat it has to move. We've had, as I said, we had new hot water tank when we went to natural gas because the old tank was just old. But I think the next thing, we pretty much replaced everything in the home except for the water softener filter stuff. I don't know how long that's supposed to last, but we'll probably have to replace it at some point. Oh, excuse me. Go forwards. Oh, now the stove we had in California, when we lived back in California, I would not be surprised if it was installed with the house. Now the house was built in 1965 and we bought it in 2001. And so, it was that old. And we didn't use the oven particularly often. And there was one day we sat watching TV and cooking something in the oven and the door blows open. I mean, literally the gas is not firing out of all of the burners. And there's a build-up of raw gas in the stove or in the oven, and the resulting minor explosion in the oven blew the door open. We probably need to replace this. And of course it's a built-in split level oven, so yeah, that involved a major rework of the kitchen, which we were happy enough to do at the time, except we then moved to Texas about 6 months later, so we never got to enjoy that kitchen. But yeah, most of the homes we've been in that had stoves in, they were kind of on their last legs. I mean, some of the problem with this house was it was a repo, and the former owners really didn't take care of much of anything. So, yeah, the stove that was here was pretty horrible, and you clean it as best you can, but it's kind of in the situation of I really don't want to eat stuff coming out of this thing, because it doesn't look that healthy to cook in. Oh, I know why it stopped and turned around, because half this field is already cultivated. I'm just recultivating it. Kind of wasting time, but the other way to look at it is we've got lime all over the place, and it's probably a good idea to mix that into the dirt. If I told it to cultivate from this end, it would just say job done. Okay, we'll run the full length of here, then I'm going to have to do this field manually. Run over and empty the potato harvest. Assuming it's not already done. Looks like he's still going. Kind of hard to see from this distance, but there are achievements to do, yes. And I haven't done many of them. That's stupid. Okay. Let me check. You're stationary. Okay. So yeah, there's sort of what is it? Plough a hectare, cultivate a hectare, seed a hectare, harvest a hectare, fertilise a hectare, and then maybe 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 for each. Obviously the fertilisers blew through that in no time, because you fertilise everything twice, and a lot of the seeders I use don't carry fertiliser. On 17 I have completed all of the achievements except the cow breeding one, which is why I still stream Farm Sim 17 Norfolds Aberdeenshire map on Saturday mornings. Now, unfortunately it doesn't tell you how close you are to completing an achievement, just what the achievement needs to be. So I know I haven't bred 20 cows, but I don't know how far off 20 I am. got a nasty feeling I need one more. Possibly two. And then I will have done all of the achievements for 17. Pouring this out the grain door. No. Kind of a cool tip of that. Because it's not a full height tailgate, it's just the bottom panel tips. So you've got the grain door in the middle, and then the hinge for the rear panel is that bottom panel. So you don't get everything pour out the back at the same time. Okay, we're back. We can turn that off. Potatoes are nearly done, and cultivation is on its way. Does workers not count? That's interesting. I'm fairly certain multiplayer doesn't count. And it all has to be done on a single save. So, yeah, you can't do sort of 10 hectares of planting on this map and another 10 on the next one. Turn around on the edge here. The hedge is a little bit too close. But at this stage I'm not concentrating on any of them, but I am aware of ones that need to be done. I think the big one for me is going to be chickens. You have to breed something like 200 of them. And I really haven't got too involved with having chickens. I mean, they're pretty easy to deal with, and I think now that there are the the chicken or the egg pallets, where you can drop a pallet and load it up with boxes and haul them around that way. It does make things a little bit easier. I think the problem with chickens is they're so cheap. Buying them to breed is completely pointless, because it costs more to ship them back to, or it doesn't quite, but yeah, when you factor in it costs me $50 to buy a chicken and $20 to transport it, and then I can sell it for 25, but it costs me $20 to transport it. It's sort of, so I end up making $5 selling a chicken. Now if we had a chicken wagon that I could haul my own chickens in, then okay, that makes sense. I can I don't mind selling chickens for $25 and not paying somebody else $20 to transport them for me. Well, to a certain extent, you can't workers won't chop down trees for you. I don't think logging was a thing for 17 as far as achievements were concerned. Which is a bit of a shame, because I think on Lawfolds I've chopped down somewhere in the region of 600 trees now. In one game save. Harvesting area. He's still working his way up and down the field. I don't know how long that's going to take. I think I'm going to keep this tractor through the planting and then let it go back. Oh, maybe there were. I don't recall. Because in 17s there were things like go bankrupt. And I did really dumb on one of my playthroughs and pretty much went bankrupt by the end of the first day. It was kind of a bad plan. But it got me an achievement, so hey. And there was throw a basketball through the hoop thing. I can't remember what else it had, but that down, that's down. But I got a fair amount of those done on what was it, Broadcast Valley when I started, because I just wanted to experience everything. So I did sheep, I did pigs, I did cows, I chopped down a couple of trees, but I didn't really concentrate on doing everything. I bought a fair amount of fields. I bought from the south of the farm, I bought all of the fields down to the main thoroughfare, plus the field on the south side of the main thoroughfare. I didn't have anything over by the cow farm, although that was a popular thing to do and then turn it into grass. I might have bought the field up by the sheep. That was one of the last things I did. I did a massive harvest of sugar beets twice, because I harvested the field, I loaded all of the sugar beets onto the train to take to the train sell point, and just as the train was pulling out, the game crashed. My previous save had been halfway through the harvest of the field, so I had to harvest half the field all over again. That really annoyed me. So, huge hint, save often, which is something I haven't done here yet. I probably have, actually. We've gone into the map a couple of times so far. Okay. As soon as I cross into this bit, I should be able to put it back on a worker, because this part of the field has not been cultivated. I'll jump over here and see what these two are doing. You are almost full. Incredibly dirty. Okay. I just sat there watching. I'll let you keep going. So, that is almost done. That. Yeah, I need to do that bit there. And I want to separate that field from the rest of 10. I was thinking about knocking down this hedge and fence and merging the top half of 10 with 9, but there's the track there, so I can't extend 9 to the end of 10, which means I'm going to have a bit of 10 that's just hanging out there. No, back up. Gonna do this. Let's have that before we turn around. Okay, that's good enough. What are we looking at? It is 11:15. Okay. We'll drive this to the end of this line and then we'll start tidying up. Stupid worker didn't finish off the end of the field. Seriously, dude. Okay. I'll tidy this bit up, I guess. Probably do the other end as well. So I'll get that lined up for the rest of it. Should consider using JCBs more often. Terribly useful. Okay. You can sit there, you're done. Harvester's done with. You're full. Don't know if that's one load left. Guessing I'm gonna have to empty this 2 more times. So stop that there, park up, go back to there, turn the helper off, turn the engine off. So that'll be empty. I did turn the engine off of that. So tomorrow will be American Truck Sim. Next week we will finish off this harvest, we will finish off this cultivation. I'm going to split that field off there. I'm going to see if I can place anything in the north part of that field. We'll be planting potatoes in here, but I've got to get the cultivator over here. This field will do with the subsoiler, so it's going to take a while. But it needs ploughed because it had potatoes in, and the rest of the fields will start planting them up. Okay, Let's check on the achievements since we haven't done that. So, achievements. Reach 10 hours of playing. Yes, we did that. Own a bank account. Yeah, we're not there yet. Complete a mission. Did that. 50 missions. Have not done 100 missions. Okay. Cultivate 1 hectare, sow 1 hectare, fertilize a hectare, harvest a hectare. 10, 10, 10's done. Cultivate 100 is not done. Sow 100 is not done. Fertilize is, because you go over every field twice. And harvest isn't. Cut down a tree, cut down 25. So I've done all the trees. Now cows haven't done. Sheep I need 30. But I'll try and work that into the old stream farm playthrough. We've got 1 so far. 50 pigs, that's going to be a while. 100 chickens. Okay, so they're not that bad. I'm going to have to, you know, this is going to be a long-term goal. I'm going to have to pick a farm and, you know, pick a map and say I'm playing this long-term. And if I do that, I'd get the, not necessarily that one, but we would get cultivate 100, sow 100, harvest 100, because that comes with the long playthroughs. I don't think I have a farm I'm playing cows on at the moment. We're doing it on Field Mountain, but that's a multiplayer farm, so that's not going to happen. Sheep I'm doing on Old Stream, so I might play that through so that we end up with 30. I haven't got a pig farm and I haven't got a chicken farm at this time. So, that's the achievements. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will be back, as I said, tomorrow with some American Truck Sim. In the meantime, have fun, and I am out of here. If I can find my mouse. There it is.